So I'm going off the cuff a little bit here today, and I really am going to need your help because today we're talking about where do you draw the line when it comes to collecting physical media?
I'm your
So, like I said, this is something that is been on my mind lately, and it's a bunch of different content creators and horror fans in the community, and YouTubers and Instagrammers have had this conversation quite a bit recently, and I've seen videos on it. Shout out to Mel over at My Killer Podcast for doing kind of inspiring this video. She's not the only one. There's a few people that have done videos similar to this, and it's been on my mind. So I thought it was a good time to kind of talk about this stuff. But I really want to hear your opinion. The whole purpose of this video is really to get your help because I it's something that I'm at a kind of um a weird impasse as far as physical media collecting. I've never been more inspired and more, empowered to collect. And there's so many things that are driving this kind of passion for me right now. But it's a very interesting time to be a physical media collector, and I want to talk about that and talk about a couple releases specifically that are kind of gearing my mind into this mindset of like, where do you draw the line? Right? Like, how do you decide in this day and age what to get and what not? Because let's face it, a lot of things are rebuys in a lot of ways. A lot of things are simply upgrades on other editions that are pretty good, and I think that is a category that I'm falling into quite a bit as far as collecting, and I have to decide what it is that I want and where to draw the line. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Remember, this is Miles of Horror, your hub for all things horror, physical media, and indie cult cinema. And as always, the only channel that's gonna make you scream. So if you guys would be so kind as to take a minute right now and hit that like button, I would appreciate it. If you could subscribe, that'd be awesome as well. But anyway, so back to our topic at hand, right? So in 2025, I mean, there's really, there are definitely a few titles out there that are still kind of on lockdown, and we've got word that Friday Night 2 is getting a disc release, and Prom Night 2, and so listen, things are some of those titles that really have been stuck are starting to get some movement towards a disc release, which is exciting. But the bigger issue for me is I like collecting all formats, right? I love VHS. I love DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, all of it. I'd say Blu-ray and VHS are probably my biggest inspirations, but I really like the nostalgia that DVDs brings to the table these days, and I love that 4K is kind of the era of like special edition packaging. That is really cool for me, and I love my VHS at heart. So it's a really interesting time for me as a collector because I think there's benefits for all formats at this point in time, right? And so what I'm finding myself quite a bit doing is like thinking about like if it's worth it to upgrade, thinking about even if I want to like go back and get like a VHS. Like I have multiple formats of a few different movies. For example, two recent VHS tapes that I picked up were House of Wax and the Faculty. Right. And like I have House of Wax on Blu-ray. I have the Scream editions of both these movies. The Faculty is a 4K. But I'm finding myself, to be honest with you, like these are new additions to my VHS collection. Going back and getting some of these VHS tapes of some of the movies that I adore. Again, House of Wax and The Faculty. These are recent additions, and that's been a lot of fun for me lately, doing stuff like this. And really, kind of bolstering my VHS collection as best I can. And again, like really thinking about what I want as far as Blu-rays and 4Ks. And I really have to be picky and choosy these days because there's so much out there. So for a movie like House of Wax, if they did a 4K, I feel like I would have to get the 4K, just because I love this movie so much, but that's not the case for all movies, right? I don't feel like every movie is something that I absolutely need, but there's a legitimate FOMO when it comes to that. So I want to open the conversation, and then I'm going to bring up these two releases that I have here, that are really driving this conversation in my head. But there's some serious FOMO in terms of what you should be upgrading, where you draw the line in terms of collecting. Like, how do you say to yourself, I like this movie, right? I want this edition. It has some cool extras. It's gonna look better in 4K, but I have a good Blu-ray set, or I have a VHS that I just kind of want to watch the movie on. And that was kind of my take with Deep Blue Sea, right? Like, I have the VHS tape, and then the 4K came out, and it's like, well, do I want the 4K? Yeah, fuck yeah, I want the 4K. Do I need it? Not really. Like, that's a movie I'll watch every 5 years at most, and I want to catalog a 4K of it, and it's being packaged beautifully, and but it's more so the packaging that gets me, and that's kind of like, oh, I want it for my shelf. It's not really the movie, because I could watch. Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. Ooh, I can watch the VHS of that movie and be satisfied, every few years. I don't need to watch it in 4K. Um, so I'm really curious to hear your thoughts, guys, on where you draw the line. What is it that drives you to either upgrade or downgrade? Or in this day and age when, a 4K limited edition is $60, sometimes even more expensive, or something like the Beyond that just came out, like 65 or so, I think. It's pricey, man. And some of these Vinegar Syndrome Ultras are pricey, and it becomes a situation where there's so much out there that, like, and there's so much limited, and everything's getting a deluxe limited hard box type situation. You really got to think about what you want. You can't get everything, and that's a big problem that I'm running into because I'm a completionist and I want all this stuff. So let me take you through two releases that have really kind of sparked my brain recently, in terms of this conversation, and is inspiring me to get your opinions. And first off, it is the Ignite Reanimator set. Okay. Now, let me take you back for a second, because Reanimator is a movie that I have a wonderful edition of. Okay. I have this Arrow Blu ray set. It is one of my favorite editions that I own. This was a limited edition, long out of print. It is gorgeous. It's got this little digipack situation with a soft cover booklet. It's truly like one of my favorite editions. Tell me this couldn't be like a Substance set right here. And so, again, like, it's an Arrow transfer, so it's a beautiful Blu-ray. And I decided on that Ignite set when they first dropped, like, you know what? I want it. I do, but I gotta pick and choose. And I love my Arrow Reanimator set, and I'm gonna hold off for now. Not only that, but I have both Reanimator VHS tapes. I have the R-rated and the unrated editions. So, like, I have multiple versions of these movies, including the dank ass Arrow limited edition. And then here comes the Ignite set, and it's like, I decided I'm not going to get it, but I have FOMO, and now they just dropped the fact that they're going to do a Bride of set, and it's like, well, now I kind of want the 4K of Reanimator. Let me take you guys to the site real quick. Um, because this is the set, right? And I'm willing to bet it's gonna sell out. Like, it's a beautiful set, and like people like, Christian Hanna, horror, CHH, and my boy, Jordan at Shinny Jingle have been praising this thing, and it's like one of the best 4Ks they've ever seen, and it makes me want to get it. And so this thing's $80, and again, like, can I afford it? Sure, yes, I can. Okay, but um $80 is still $80, right? And then shipping overseas, it's gonna be like $100. And so if I don't get this, it will sell out, and then I'm leaving myself open to not have the Bride of set and not have the complete set of the two. And so this set, more than any other set in recent memory, has gotten me to think about, like, I don't usually pass on things. Usually, if I want something, I'll get it. It's not normally a big issue, but this is the first time in quite a bit that I'm like, um, I hope did that just sorry, I don't know if the first time in quite a bit of time that I have to really think, like, do I need this? Like, where do you draw the line? This was something I drew the line on, but now I'm kind of regretting it because I have the great Arrow set, and I'm having FOMO, guys. I'm having a very difficult time of kind of sticking to my guns on this and just saying to myself, I don't need this set. I'm having a difficult time. So that's the first release, and it's not easy, man. It is really not easy to say no to this, and I very possibly might go back and get it. It's not in the books yet. The other release that really has me shook these days, and this is not something that I'm think I'm going to end up getting. I think I'm going to ultimately end up passing on this, but it is the new Arrow announcement edition of The Stuff in 4K. Now, The Stuff is a movie that I really enjoy. Larry Cohen. It's a really fun movie. Um, and I have the Arrow Blu-ray, which is a great edition. It really is. Really great artwork on there. I have the VHS. So, like, I have this movie in multiple formats, but I don't have, like, a slipcover edition. I have, like, the standard Arrow Blu-ray, which, again, it's The Stuff is not one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, why do I need a 4K upgrade slipcover? But let me show you guys this set, man. And this is how they get you because they're making these 4Ks fucking sick. Like, look at this set. I love the artwork on there. I think it looks so cool with the black aesthetic. I really do. And this is the artwork on the Blu-ray. Like, it kind of has an homage to the original artwork. Like, it's just awesome. It really is a sleek and banging set, and it's not that expensive. It's 35, but again, it's like pick and choose, right? Pick and choose. It becomes very, very difficult to think about what you want, where to draw the line, and it's becoming increasingly difficult. And again, it's not that I'm not inspired to collect. There's so much that's inspiring me. Really, VHS has been the most inspiring thing as of late. But I really want to open this conversation up to you guys and get your opinion on where do you draw the line, right? What is it about a set that might set you off, or what is it about physical media collecting at this point in time that is saying to you, I'm not going to get that, right? Like, I need to draw the line somewhere, and it's going to be right here. What is it that sets you off? Okay. To me, it's like, for me personally, it's like I have the movie in another edition. I don't feel like I need the 4K because it's not one of my favorite movies of all time. Now, Reanimator is definitely, one of my biggest gateways ever, in as far as horror, maybe my biggest gateway horror movie ever. It's really like the threshold for me of when, like, horror became more than just a love. It became like an inspiration, passion kind of thing. And it's just interesting to me, like, that is a movie that I really want, but I just, again, it's expensive, man. So I want to hear your thoughts. Where do you draw the line? Let me hit you guys with something fun here before I head off. What do I got for you guys? Something fun here. Something good, something good. Let's do here we go.
We have such sights to show you.
So please hit me up in the comments. I really want to hear from you guys on this one because it's a very polarizing topic for me. And appreciate you guys hanging out. Be sure to hit that like button, share with your friends, and I'll catch you on the flip. Peace.